This is the Tom Bernard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Bernard app at tombernardshow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
You horn tootin' is all I have to say. I've decided I have a new reason to live.
Okay.
What I would like to do is get one story about anything, and it doesn't matter what it is, where the far right and the far left are in agreement on something. Like, is the sun going to come up? You think they would agree on that, or would they argue that point?
One would say the sun comes up, but then the other one would be like, it actually doesn't technically come up
Yes.
at the tilt of the earth. It actually diagonally comes to the light.
Honest to God, I tried to, because I got up a little early this morning and I tried to read some of the headlines. And boy, I swear to God, if you look at the same exact story from different publications or TV stations or whatever the hell it is, it's a completely different world to these people. No wonder people hate one another, because they believe one thing, the other side believes the other thing. And obviously, if you met in the middle, that's where the real truth is. But they won't do that. They just each have to have their own spin where it's all about me. It's just unbelievable. This whole thing with, Tim Walz, and I don't need getting involved in that. He's not my kind of guy. He never has been. But I gotta be honest with you. Most politicians, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, they're just not my kind of people.
That's understandable, though.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've been able to look at a politician and be like, yeah, you know what?
Yeah,
you get me. We relate to a lot of similar things. So,
yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is, because it's gotten so extreme now on both sides that you can't agree with anything they say. We're looking at this whole thing that apparently our governor was, I don't know who first brought it up, that he didn't do anything about the riots back after. And they did say again that there was a murder. And I don't know. To this day, I still do not understand why that was allowed to go on. Why don't you kneel on my neck for about 3-4 days? What do you say?
Yeah.
And then the guy's hired in hell on fentanyl. That's the other part of it. And look, just because you're high on fentanyl doesn't mean you deserve to die. That's not what I'm saying. It's just how do you guys? I mean, you guys are of different era than I am. Where do you look for your news? Because I can't find anywhere to look for my news that tells me the 100% truth. You got anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's I usually go to like Newsbreak. Reuters is good. There's one.
So you have to go to England to get the real news about America?
There's one, I think it's out of Canada. It's called Ground News.
There you go.
They will take stories kind of from everybody, and then so if it's whatever Trump did, blah 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 blah, and then it'll have like from the left's point of view, a center point of view, and the right. So I feel like that kind of at least covers all the bases, but it's tough. You got to go to some extremes to find good news sources.
Yeah, Associated Press is like the main one for me, just from when I was in college. We would do like these news shows, and we'd have to get our stuff from the AP Wire.
Sure.
And I enjoy it because it's just, I don't need it when I want to read the news. I don't want a column. I don't want an opinion piece. I don't need 7 paragraphs. I want, here's what happened. Here's the facts. Is there anything like we don't know? Here you go. And it's 10 sentences max. I'm in and I'm out, and I get what I need.
Yep.
So I like Associated Press.
So do they take any political stance on Associated Press?
No, in my experience, they're like, they have occasional opinion things because it's, like anything they have, it's a news outlet, but for the most part, they are very forward with, here's what happened. Here's ABC that is pertaining to what it is, and they're pretty in and out quick. Not a lot of opinion, which is nice.
I mentioned this before the show started, but I ran into 11 people that listened to this show. First at the Carver County Fair, and by the way, that was a great memory from literally 35 years ago. I think it was. The Carver County Fair called and asked me, I was at the queue, if I could make an appearance at the Carver County Fair, which is a great fair, by the way. They do a nice job. Really nice people too. But I'm out at the fair with the family on Saturday, with Andy's family. We're out there on Saturday and we're wandering around, and I ran into, I think it was 4 or 5 people at the Carver County Fair, but these 2 guys come walking up to me, and they brought a memory back that I haven't thought of in 35 years. So I get a call from the Carver County Fair. It's, Tom, could you come out and do an appearance? That'd be really great to get out here. And, you know, if you would talk about the fair on the show, that would be wonderful. So I get out there, and this is a true story. It's not made up. So I get out there, and I look out from behind, you know, the curtain. I look out at the stage. Mm-hmm. It's not really a curtain. That's good terminology, I think. Mm-hmm. The place is packed. And I mean, you couldn't get one more person in that audience, right? So I'm all fired up, like, oh my God, look at all the people that are here. It's going to be fantastic. I walk out on stage, walk up to the microphone, say, good afternoon, everyone. At least 50 people said, and I quote, you're not the popcorn king. I'm like, what? Apparently there's a guy, or was a guy, I don't know if he's still around or not. There was a guy named Tom Bernard who they called the popcorn king, because apparently out there in Carver County, when you bought your popcorn, you bought it from Tom Bernard. And they were pissed off that I wasn't the right Tom Bernard, the popcorn king.
You know, every morning when I come in here, I'm like, maybe today it's going to be the right Tom Bernard. Maybe it's going to be the popcorn king. Absolutely. And then I get stuck with you.
These two guys, they kept circling around. Oh, look, it's the popcorn king. So I went through that whole deal. Met 3 listeners at the Pura Lima in Wayzata yesterday, standing in line to get some chow. Very, very nice people. I kept running into listeners everywhere, which is very, very cool. But I just, again, not one of those people yesterday complained that I wasn't the popcorn king. Not one of them. Okay. They listened to this show, and so we'll take that home with you, popcorn king. Yeah. Did you look up and see if the popcorn king is still alive?
I'm trying to find the popcorn king. I can't find anything on him. So,
he must be gone.
Unfortunately, yeah. You may be in the Radio Hall of Fame, but you'll never be the popcorn king.
I'll never be the popcorn king. No, you're absolutely right, Tom. You're just never going to be the popcorn king. That's all there is to it. No question about it. And I also do like the fact that we got to, move on here quickly, but I like the fact that people are showing more hatred for each other daily. It's not getting better. It's getting much worse. So good for you folks. Do you hate anyone?
No, I'd have to think about it. And then even then I'd be like, I really don't hate them.
No, you don't like some people, but why would you give up that much emotion to hate somebody? No. I mean, I suppose if I had met Hitler, he might be leaning that way, but I wouldn't give them the pleasure of me hating them, because they'd probably like it.
Right. Well, if I feel like if I ever get to the point of hating somebody, I'm just done.
Yeah.
Associating with you. Yeah.
What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, about the same. I really dislike some people, but I wouldn't say to the point of hate.
No, that's exactly the whole deal too. It's the point of hatred where you're actually giving up emotion because you don't like them. Well, if you don't like them, don't go around them. Right?
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, it's just sometimes they get thrust into your, into your life just because of maybe how big they are.
Ross is a good guy, though. You don't have to talk about him that way,
He knows my stance on it.
My stance on Ross.
No hugs for Ross.
By the way, for new listeners, Ross might be one of the nicest people I've ever.
He's just a gem.
He's a great guy.
He knows I love him.
He's a very nice man, no question about it. We'll take a break, come back and talk about sports in Minnesota. Because I did not get a chance to watch the Viking game on Saturday. It was 3:00?
Yeah. Yep.
We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Twins, all kinds of stuff coming up right after this. Beer, food, Vikings, and real life jousting. The only place you can find all of these together is at the 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. I just went out there last week. It is unbelievable. It was packed. And that was just with the media people. So it's not like the media people skipped the fair or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's amazing. It's happening weekend starting August 17th. So it's 5 days from now. This Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Starting August 17th through September 29th, plus Labor Day and September 27th, located at the Renaissance Festival grounds in Shakopee. It's fun for the entire family, and that is the truth, by the way. There were little kids there. There were older people there. Everybody's having a ball. As you adventure around the grounds, adventure around the grounds. I've never heard it put that way before. You could venture and create an adventure What do you think? In any case, you find amazing food and drinks, tons of different street acts, live music, fully armored jousting. I'm not kidding you, man. If you get a turkey wing, have you guys ever seen a turkey wing?
Yeah.
Because one of the people out there got one. It is as big as a baseball mitt, for Christ's sake. They're huge. I'm not kidding you. In any case, like to live on the edge, try your hand at axe throwing, shooting a crossbow, climbing a rock wall, or test your wits in an escape room. It's also perfect for kids of all ages, featuring a petting zoo, various rides and games, along with arts and crafts events. Plus, with over 250 artisans and shops around the festival, you may just find something that scratches your medieval itch. Didn't you tell me like last week you had a medieval itch?
Yeah, well, I told you that in confidence.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You might need a cream for that.
A little cream on that. That'd be good. Visit RenaissanceFest.com now for discount tickets, parking passes, and all other information. The 2024 Minnesota Renaissance Festival. Visit RenaissanceFest.com today.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they taught you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank our listeners for all your continued support and to thank you for having an overstock clearance on new product sale right now for the best prices ever when you use promo code TOM. And to get free shipping on your entire order, get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets only $29.98, and take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses, mattress toppers, 100% made in the USA on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything's on sale from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146 and use promo code TOM, and you get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146 and go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
This is the Tom Bernard Podcast.
And there's Phil Mackey. I got to tell you something very, very quickly that happened at the Renaissance Festival thing last week, which I just loved. I think I might have mentioned this last week, but I'm not sure I did. But I was hanging around with Crisco and the entire, KS95 morning show. And then, of course, Des was the last one to arrive. Shock of the century. You know what I mean? So she didn't see me. She didn't even know I was there. So I had this gigantic turkey leg. They make these huge, they got this, I don't know, they barbecue them or smoke them. I don't know what the hell they do, but they're absolutely delicious. Well, the food out there is good anyway.
Yeah.
So I snuck up behind Des and I stuck the turkey leg in her face. I thought she was going to have a heart attack, for Christ's sake.
This would be great to read on like an HR report, right? Tom Bernard sneaking up behind women with, and then in parentheses, we're not sure if it was smoked or barbecued or fried turkey leg.
You're right. And we already mentioned this morning. The turkey wing, honest to God, is as big as a baseball mitt. And I'm not making that up. It's huge.
Yeah. I see there's Nordic meatballs there too. What's a Nordic meatball?
That I don't know.
If we Google, is it just a gigantic meatball?
I got to be honest, we had a special rule in my family, no Nordic people allowed, and we finally allowed one in, and it's been painful. Let me just say that.
There's Norwegian meatballs. I should know. Yeah. I'm half Norwegian. I should know about Norwegian meatballs. This looks like there's it's like meatballs on top of maybe some mashed potatoes with some gravy.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Swedish meatball type thing.
Oh, it is the same deal?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one I don't understand, and I've never tasted it because I was warned off. They said, don't do it. Lutefisk, apparently.
Oh,
Don't they soak something in like poison or something?
Wait, that's the fish, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to call it fish.
It's I think it's in lye. Is that what they soak it in?
I think you're right.
I think.
Yeah, I mean it's aggressive. Yeah, I come from a long line of Norwegians, the Wisconsin part of my family, and as a kid, we'd go to these gatherings. My great aunt Carol and Uncle Paul, and they would have the entire family over for Christmas gatherings or what have you, and they would have 20 different kinds of foods and appetizers, but they would have lutefisk and lefse. Lefse is great because lefse put some butter and some sugar.
Yep.
But it was it was a challenge to see who's really devoted to the family. Do you stop at the lutefisk?
No way.
Or not? Yeah.
And by the way, it must be a tradition in every Norwegian or I guess Scandinavian's a better way to put it. In every Scandinavian family I've ever met, the two words you just used always come up. Always. And Dan Rasmussen, my son-in-law, is Scandinavian. Uncle Paul. Every one of you has an Uncle Paul.
I know. I think Paul must have been the most common name if you were born in like the 1940s through 1960s, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
also, I find it's funny how Scandinavian people, like you said, Rasmussen is the last name.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's funny how they named it, like they would just literally take son and put it at the end. You are the son of
yes,
so and so, AJson, Tevinson. That's
you're looking at a Fredrickson.
Yeah,
Fredrickson, exactly.
I will tell you though,
son of Fredrickson.
One Rasmus I knew was not Norwegian. I can promise you that one. Hey, Rasmus, how you doing? I don't know where they picked up the name. Yeah, honest to God, Uncle Paul. You hear that every time. They got it, like Dan's Uncle Paul. He's a great guy, really nice guy, but they're prevalent. That's all.
I feel like Aunt Carol is also very, very prevalent.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Paul and Carol. That makes total sense to me.
Yeah.
So the Minnesota Twins did exactly what I thought they would do. They won the first two, lost the second two, made up no ground. All they had to do is win 3 out of 4 to pick up 2 games. And they sweep that doubleheader. The most frustrating part was yesterday. I mean, Saturday they lost 2-1, and they had opportunities. Yes. And of course, they just didn't come through. But then yesterday, they wind up chipping away. It's 5-3 in the bottom of the 9th inning, and they load the bases with nobody out. Oh,
a chance to win this game, take 3 out of 4. And Emmanuel Clase is one of the best relievers in baseball, so credit to him. He gets a strikeout of Willie Castro, and then the double play, Trevor Larnach, bing, bang, boom. And Cleveland, who had lost 7 in a row, suddenly feels pretty good coming out of Target Field. And now the Royals come to town here, and you're trying to fend them off for jockeying for position in the division. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a train wreck of a series because you did split, but to take the first 2 and then lose 2 close games makes it feel a lot worse.
And yesterday I found out because we well, as a matter of fact, Dan Rasmussen, his lovely wife, my daughter. Can you call your own daughter a lovely wife, or is that a bad idea?
No, I think you're good. I mean,
okay, you're good there.
I wouldn't use 4 or 5 descriptive words, but it's just lovely. Yeah.
But Fawn and Sage were there, and we just kind of roamed around, had a good time, just hanging out with the family. They went to the playground. We went to Pure Lima, and I said I ran into. By the way, the food there is phenomenal.
Pure Lima, yeah, big fan.
It is really good. But I ran into several listeners. I ran into 3 listeners there, and they were very complimentary of all. Even you and Judd, they complimented. It was that stretched that far.
Yeah, we actually pay actors to just roam around the Twin Cities.
Good idea. That's a good plan. But they were very, very nice people. No question about it. It was very nice to me. I ran into 11 listeners over the weekend. Some at the Carver County Fair, which again, bitching about me not being the popcorn king, but such is life. Did you know that there's a guy named Tom Bernard who's called the popcorn king, or he used to be? He might not be around anymore because I think Tevin was looking for him. He didn't pop up, so he might.
What, like he just hangs out at the Carver County Fair?
No, he made appearances. I don't think he's around anymore, but he would pack the place. So when I showed up as Tom Bernard, they thought it was the popcorn king. I walk out, the place is just packed, and I hear like 50 different people go, "You're not the popcorn king." Like, oh God, why me?
What a letdown. The other Tom Bernard
is
here.
Other Tom Bernard is a huge letdown. Okay. I mean, I can understand if my name was like Bill Anderson or something like that.
Oh, it's this one. This is the guy that just bitches about people not saying hi on his walks every day. Okay.
That's exactly that's me. That is me. Well, the one woman did. She did. So that was good.
Oh, you did this morning?
No, I didn't go for a walk this morning because I walked out of my house and it was 52 degrees. I'm like, nope, I am not walking when it's 52 degrees. I'll do it later on today.
Okay.
Such is life. So yeah, we had the Twins. We got through the Twins. They didn't pick up any ground. I literally thought they'd pick up at least two games by winning either the third or the fourth game of the series. Lost them both. Very close. But such is life, I guess.
But you must be excited for the new era of Vikings football that began officially with Saturday's first preseason game. J.J. McCarthy,
right,
21-year-old, fresh-faced rookie. You know, Tom, they call him the Blonde Brady after what he did on Saturday.
Really?
Yeah.
Blonde Brady.
188 yards, 2 absolute beautiful touchdown passes.
Really?
Darts all over the field. I know it's preseason and you're facing these vanilla defenses and whatever.
Right.
But pretty good debut for the 21-year-old rookie quarterback. People are very excited.
I was going to watch the game, but then I was called out to the Carver County Fair as not the popcorn king. So I was at the fair during the Viking game. I didn't get a chance to watch it at all, but I'm telling you, a lot of nice people out there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, so the Vikings did look good. So he looked as good as everybody thought he would, huh?
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of PTSD when it comes to young Vikings quarterbacks. I think a lot of Vikings fans are bracing for Christian Ponder and Tavares Jackson, and Teddy Bridgewater snapped his leg in half at a practice one time. So I think we're all, we're very damaged when it comes to our young quarterback relationships here. But that was, you're not gonna make a career in one preseason game.
No.
But if he would have come out and looked completely in over his head, I think it would have drummed up some of those PTSD feelings that we.
Sure.
That's Ponder, post-traumatic Ponder stress syndrome, by the way.
You have to use his name because I showed up at a friend's house for dinner one time and he was there. Christian Ponder was there.
Okay.
One of the nicest people I've ever met.
Truly is.
Just
very
a
nice
great
human.
Guy.
Classic example of a great guy, but ...
You got to throw the butt in there, I suppose. Just a hell of a nice man, though. Really good guy. So you guys seem pretty excited about seeing this young fella looking so good, huh?
Yeah, I mean, he, as Phil was saying, he looked very, very good on a couple of his throws. There were some times where he was behind and late. There was I think a hitch route on the left-hand side where he was late that ended up getting deflected. The interception he threw was kind of off platform and not maybe in the correct spot with enough zip on it. But I mean, overall, once he works some of those things out and the game slows down, I think that moving forward, he's got a very bright future for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
So, Phil, as the expert here, will they allow him to play this year, or is he going to have to wait around?
Well, it's funny because it's really easy when you draft a guy. They've got this plan in place, right? It's a long-term outlook, and he's going to as they've said, his path to development has nothing to do with external factors like how well Sam Darnold is playing or, whether the fans or the media want him to play. But I think as it gets a little closer, I don't think he starts week 1. Right. But I feel like every time he looks good in a practice, every time he looks good in a preseason game, Sam Darnold looked pretty good in his first drive too. He's he's going to be the starter. But the minute that Sam Darnold throws 3 interceptions against the Giants or something in week 1, people are going to be banging on the table.
Sure.
I mean, there's something to be said for him not playing at all in his rookie year, just doing a red shirt. That's what Patrick Mahomes did. He didn't play at all his first season. Aaron Rodgers didn't play for 3 years. Jordan Love, the new Packers quarterback, didn't play for 3 years. So you could make a case to just slow cook him. Put him in the rib smoker and let him sit there for a year. But I don't know, man. I think if he's ready to go in the first half of the season, it's going to be hard to keep him on the bench.
What's really funny about this? There's a radio position on FM. I won't even say what it is because what I'm about to say. But 2 stations bleed in and out of each other. One apparently is in the Twin Cities with a weak signal, and the other one is in, I don't know, maybe Mankato or something with a stronger signal, or that might be a little too far away. So maybe it's closer than that. But you constantly go back and forth between the two stations. They pop in and out, right?
Yeah.
So I'm listening to this one and they're popping in and out. These two, this is a national radio show, not a local radio show, national radio show, talking about how horrible the Vikings have always been. They've never won anything. That's a horrible team.
Are you sure you weren't getting some sort of Wisconsin, Packer-centric radio bleed in there?
Yeah, you might be right about that. But they had not one good word to say about the Minnesota Vikings. It was like, my God.
What's funny, though, is they're not – you could say that the Browns or the Lions, some of these other franchises have been garbage for decades and decades. Yeah. That's the thing about the Vikings. They're an anomaly because they've been competitive and really good for 60 years, but they've never taken that final step. They always – they always get the football pulled out from underneath them as they're trying to kick the Charlie Brown field goal every single time they get to the doorstep.
Who was the kicker that missed the kick, therefore they missed going to the Super Bowl?
Gary Anderson.
Because they kept calling him Morton Anderson. It's like, no, it was not Morton Anderson. I know that.
I think Morton was on the other side of the ball in that game.
He did. Morton made the game winner for the Falcons, right?
Yeah, they kept saying he's the one that missed it. It's like, no, he's not. It was Gary Anderson.
Yeah.
But what the hell? Hey, look, I get fired up about the Viking season because, well, again, I became a Viking fan at 15 years old because my brother came home from Vietnam and he was a huge Viking fan. Without my dad around and my older brothers on the other side of the earth, he comes home and he's all fired up about that's why I started drinking at 15, actually.
Yeah, that's me too.
Me too.
I was 13 during the 1998 NFC Championship game. That was my first glass of gin, Tom.
There you go, baby. So you and I have a lot in common. There's no question about it. But
Philip, do you want a high seat? Nope. Gonna need something a little stronger today, Mom.
Need something with a little kick with it. And Phil, did you watch the game on TV? Did you see the brilliance that was JJ Jets? Now I guess as we're calling him, mic'd up for essentially they were supposed to do, Tom, like I think it was the whole third quarter.
Yeah.
And he was like JJ McCarthy's out here throwing touchdowns, and Justin Jefferson's on the sidelines losing his mind. It's probably the most entertaining thing I've seen in a live broadcast in a long time. Yeah.
Well, that's good. Glad to hear it's entertaining.
Yeah. When they first said that he's going to be mic'd up for the entire third quarter, which is like a 40-minute chunk of real time, I was like, that seems a little long. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was exciting, and they're looking for ways to spice up preseason games, and he did a good job.
So I have to ask you guys a question. I'm asking all three of you because AJ, you're a Viking fan too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have some friends that blame those losses in the Super Bowl, most of them, at least three of them. They blame Bud Grant, said he was a good coach, but he wasn't good enough to bring home the bacon. Yeah. You guys think that might have been true?
Man, it's tough because none of us were alive to watch those games.
Right. But I mean, they're recorded. I don't know if you know that or not. You can find them.
I know you can't. Actually, it's funny. Judd and I did. Judd and I reviewed for Purple Daily during like a holiday weekend. I think it was the Chiefs loss. Was that the first one that they lost?
Yeah. Yep.
And, in today's world of hot take media, that would be an incredible debate. Because it's what you just brought up is kind of a sacrilege conversation, right? I mean, Bud Grant is he is a hero among stoic Minnesota sports fans dating back 6 decades. But do we have that uncomfortable conversation about him being a bad big game coach? I don't know. No one's ever dove into that.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah. He wasn't the friendliest person I've ever met, I will tell. Unless you were talking about him, then he was very friendly.
He's very stoic.
He was very stoic. That's
very
a good
frigid.
Way to put it. Yeah, frigid. That's a good way to put it.
Isn't he the guy that would always have the garage sales?
Yes, absolutely.
This big bad football coach, come to my garage sale.
And he would have conversations with people on his front lawn and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, he was before my time, but I remember at that 2015, I want to say it was the wild card game out at TCF Bank.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Seahawks.
Wide left, but I remember me and my buddies were standing out there just freezing our butts off. Like, we've got long johns, we've got 17 layers on, and they're like, coming out for the ceremonial coin toss, Vikings legendary head coach Bud Grant, and he's just got like a polo shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like,
I remember.
Let's go. And he's walking out there in -20 wind chill, just an animal.
So I'm glad you guys pointed that out, because I wasn't trying to make him look like a jackass or anything, but yeah, stoic that's what he was. He is like, yeah, good to see you.
Maybe a little too stoic in some of those big football games, Tom.
Maybe he was too stoic. You're absolutely right. That's a good closer right there. Bud Grant, too stoic.
Coming up next, was Bud Grant a little too stoic? We'll take your calls. 651.
You got to get that's up to Score North to figure that out this week. Was he too stoic?
I want to see Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharp debating it on First Take ESPN.
Oh, God.
That is blasphemous.
Stephen A. Smith. He's very impressed with himself. I know that.
Yeah, nobody loves Stephen A. Smith quite like Stephen A. Smith.
You are correct about that, man. Like, holy God. All right, pal. So now this was a brilliant conversation. So we do have something to look forward to in the Vikings upcoming season. I don't know. So you think maybe a couple of games in, we're gonna see the young kid, huh?
I think there's still a chance he starts week 1.
Really?
If he looks great in the next 2 preseason games and at practice, I think there's the door is open, but we'll see if they take a patient approach. It's easy to preach patience in like July and August, but then when your jobs are on the line and fans are screaming and idiots like us on microphones are pounding on the table, we'll see. We'll see.
We shall see. And we will talk to you on Friday, Pally.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks
Enjoy your week.
Score North, ladies and gentlemen. Take a break. Be right back. Chris Egert joins us right after this. Hi, Tom Bernard here for Livea Weight Control Centers. Your success story starts today. Join Livea's doctor-recommended and award-winning nutrition program. Get your first 8 weeks free. Let me say that again. Get your first 8 weeks free. You could lose up to 20 pounds or more in your first 8 weeks, by the way. I did. Plus, Livea offers weight loss medication to accelerate results, receive personalized one-on-one guidance, plus expert nutrition and medical support. Livea is the destination for all weight loss solutions. Trust me when I say this, Livea works. And here's the deal. We have been moving for the past 7 weeks, and I'm not making that up. The last 7 weeks we've been moving, so we've had very few meals that were cooked at home, and I'm very, very happy about this. My weight stayed steady that entire 7 weeks. I didn't lose any more weight, so I still got like 12 pounds to lose, something like that. But I didn't gain weight. That's very, very important because I mostly ate pickup meals or at restaurants. So if you can do that and not gain weight, yeah, I didn't lose any, no question, but I also didn't gain any. That was very, very important. Look, I could not have done that without their help. There's no question about that. What have I lost so far? Like 40 pounds, something like that. Somewhere in there. Visit Livea.com. That's Livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVEA. Join Livea's nutrition plan today and get your first 8 weeks free. Plus, Livea Medical offers GLP-1 medications for accelerated results. Visit Livea.com or just call 855-GO-LIVEA. Choose the trusted leader serving our communities for 15 years. Livea works.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
Let's take a second to talk about my bank, North American Banking Company. Got a call from Bilski over the weekend. It's all fired up, which he should be. Look, there's no shortage of banking options in the Twin Cities. I know that. But if you're tired of being just a number to your big national bank, be sure to talk to my friends at North American Banking Company. I've said this before. I don't call somebody my friend unless they're my friend. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as other banks, but with the unparalleled service of a community bank. I also like being able to go to any of their 6 Twin Cities locations in Roseville, 50th in France, Hastings, Woodbury, Shoreview, and Maple Grove. So if you're looking for a better banking experience, why not bank with my friends at North American Banking Company? Go to nabanco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to the Tom Bernard Podcast.
Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Chris, I got to ask you a question. Do you know most of the local mayors in town, or you know of them?
It kind of depends. Why are you asking?
Because I met the former, he's not the mayor now, but I met the former mayor of Wayzata. Really nice guy. Just a really good guy. You know him at all?
I don't. I know I've had some contact with the mayors of Minnetonka before. My wife works for the city, but no, I've never met him.
Your wife works for the city of Minnetonka?
Yeah.
That's not a bad job.
No, she's a very busy job. She does all their senior programming for seniors, like field trips and classes and all kinds of good stuff.
So how's it feel your wife makes more money than you do?
I wish.
He goes, I wish.
I would be one of those stay-home dads in a heartbeat.
You'd do it?
Oh my God, yes. I would do it tomorrow.
Look at all three of you. Yeah, I'd get the hell out of here right now.
I get to stay home.
Really?
You just give me an allowance every week. Works.
Yes. And don't even need it doesn't need to be lavish. It can be just barely scraping by. But yeah.
God. Nice. Really good. Beautiful view of life. There's no question about it.
I'm just being honest. I'm tired, Tom.
By the way, I've mentioned this a few times, but I ran into 11 listeners, 11 or 12 different places at Carver County Fair. Ran into some people there.
Yeah.
Ran into some people at Pura Lima and Wayzata. Met 3 people there. They all had nothing but good things to say about you guys, whether it was Phil Mackey or Judd or you or, I mean, nobody mentioned Sansevier, but that was just a given.
Wow, it's Sandy, you know what?
Sandy. Poor old Sandy.
What'd you think? My daughter went out to you were in Waconia for the Carver County Fair, right? So
correct.
Yeah, my daughter was out there a couple times. So what'd you like about it?
The people were very, very friendly. Like I said, I ran into a bunch of listeners. There is a popcorn place. I told them this is like the best popcorn I've ever had. Good God, the food was really, really good.
Yeah.
And then what was kind of cool about it, because you would go into like the horse barn, particularly the horse barn, and I think the pig barn, and some of the people who obviously owned the animals were sleeping in their stalls.
Oh yeah. Those 4-H kids.
Yes.
I mean, they've been there since 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah. I always love that at the fair where there's they got to sit there all freaking day. I mean,
that's true. No, it was a really, really good time. Everybody was very, very pleasant. The great thing is that Ethan he'll be 3 years old in November. So he's about 2 years and 9 months old. My God, did he have fun. But now Catherine is imitating him because he's about to turn 3. And if you remember having children, just when your kid's about to turn 3, their voice changes because they go like this. Yeah, I was talking to the guy yesterday. I went over. And all of a sudden, their voice just drops about 5 octaves. Like, good God. Hey, Bob, I want to go on this.
Well, maybe he's got your pipes. He's gonna start talking like Catman at age 3.
So yesterday we go to Pura Lima for lunch, or actually dinner. It was not lunch. It was at dinner time. And I sit down next to Sage, my 6-year-old grandson, right? Only one chair left as I get there. It's the one next to him. I sit down in the chair. He looks at me and goes, why do you have to sit next to you? Like, okay, gee, you can't tell who grandfather you have. He's already a smart ass at 6 years old.
Oh, yeah. The gene is strong in that family, I'm sure.
The gene is strong. Can you imagine that back in the day? And you get younger guys, but if you lipped off to your grandfather like that back in the day, man, it'd be your ass. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, there's definitely. I'm with you. There was a level of And I don't necessarily think for the better either, honestly. Right. I mean, you were scared of.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, scared to the point of you didn't even want to talk to him. And
yep.
I think the pendulum has swung quite a bit the other way, where it's like people aren't even calling them their grandfather. They're just like calling them their name. Hey, Jim, how's it going? You know, I'm not down with that either, but I think a happy medium is good.
I've been very honest about that. Both my grandfathers were raging pricks. Both of them. Ugh, not good people. They were kind of that stoic German thing or whatever that deal is.
Yeah, I know. Whatever. I know. Grandpa Eggert.
Grandpa. I like that. Call him Grandpa. That works.
Yeah, he was a boy that gene was strong in him. I can tell you that right now.
No question. My family too. My family as well. I tried to avoid the news, national news. Local news I can watch because you guys don't get carried away with all the taking sides and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I like watching the local news. The national news, man, they were off the deep end this weekend. They have no idea who's going to win this presidential election, do they? Because one side is going to be this guy, the other guy, the woman, and then this. Boy, they are very nervous about that.
Yeah, I think I just heard some polling this morning that, I mean, that it's basically tied.
Yeah.
So, and it's probably let's see where it goes for the next however many days. But yeah, I kind of just did a search around this weekend of the national stuff to make sure I didn't miss anything big. But other than that, I've been kind of trying to keep my nose up and just pay attention to what's going on around me. I'm kind of, the whole presidential politics thing is, it's going to be the same crap for the next.
Yes.
I'm sort of waiting for something earth shattering I think they're both supposed to talk about their financial, some specific economic plans this week.
Okay.
Maybe some specific immigration plans instead of speaking in generalities. And, I'm happy to read some of that, but.
Now, what's immigration? I've never heard of that. I thought you could just walk across the border. You don't have to immigrate. You can just walk across the border.
Boy, I had a really interesting conversation with one of my friends this weekend about he does hiring for a construction company, and they hire a lot of out-of-country workers, but they do so legally and following the proper protocols to make sure that they've got all the paperwork they need and the visas they need to get in and out of the country, background check, the whole bit. And then you hear about how much extra effort and work it is for them to do it the right way. And then you think about a company that maybe doesn't adhere to that, and they're doing it the wrong way, or the other way. I don't want to say wrong way. That puts the business that's doing things by the law at an incredible disadvantage.
I would agree with that 100%.
Right? They're trying to dot all the I's and cross the T's. And so it's an interesting issue.
One of my favorite things, and I guess I referred to it a little earlier, but I try to follow the news on the national. Again, local news, you guys do a great job because you don't get all involved in this stuff. But the national news, they all have, basically when you watch the national news, doesn't matter if it's a Republican starting it, a Democrat starting it, doesn't matter. The sun is up. No, it isn't. They can't agree on anything. I just don't understand. How the hell can you not find one thing that you can agree on?
Yeah, that's when you get into this whole, we've got to be on for 24 hours straight. We need to have something to, all right, let's go point counterpoint again on XYZ. And it's exhausting.
It's just too much. My God, I'm like, really? Calm down. Tim Walz is the devil. Tim Walz is an angel. I'm like, whatever. You can't just meet in the middle. Okay, he's an average guy. How about that? Nope, never happened. Right?
Absolutely not. You got to be on my team or you don't count.
Yeah.
That's the way we're looking at it these days.
That's really unfortunate, I think, because it's not a good lesson for the young.
I agree.
All right, you got to get off your ass and go to work now, which is
I got big things brewing today on Minnesota Live. We're gonna have salamanders in the studio.
Really?
Yep.
The salamander family. I like it. All right, Pally, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
I can text you that clip later if you want to watch it, just so you can see.
So AJ and Tevin are all excited about your salamander interviews.
Send us the segment.
I'll get right on that.
The sun is up. No, it isn't.
No, it's not. Damn it. Salamanders are bad.
Salamanders are horrible. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you, pal. Channel 5's Chris Eggert, brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh today for your free 48-minute evaluation at 952-925-5608. Yeah, isn't that amazing? I don't, like I said, nice white shirt. It's not white, it's gray.
It's an eggshell.
It's eggshell. Whoa, yeah, Oh, you got it at the same time.
Because we know we're fashionistas.
We're big painters.
We know our colors.
We know.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. What color is my shirt then?
Slate. That's got a tinge of blue, no?
Yeah,
it's blue, it's like a little, baby bluish, grayish.
Yeah.
When's the last time I had to wear a sweater on an August morning? What the hell? Warm up, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. Be right back. Some Italian guy's coming on. I don't even know his name. Something. What is it? BS. That's all I know. Robert. Yeah, there you go. When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. Matter of fact, went to a restaurant with Josh Arnold. The four of us went out and had a little dinner on Saturday night. It was wonderful at Layla. But when you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market, the economy. He knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance, no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. I am a paid endorser.
Is that text you're sending so important that you missed your turn? Is that text you're sending so important that you ran the red light? Is that text you're sending so important you didn't see the ball coming onto the road or the child that followed? Hi, I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. When you take your eyes off the road for even 4 seconds, your vehicle travels 100 yards. That's the entire length of a football field. If you absolutely have to text, you need to pull off the road somewhere safe and do it from there. Texting and driving is against the law and can cause serious injury or even death to you and others. Now that is important. We hope you're never injured in a collision, but if you are, please contact us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Going farther with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Mike Lindell and MyPillow employees want to thank my listeners for all your continued support. To thank you, they're having an overstock clearance and new product sale right now for the best prices ever. When you use promo code TOM, you get free shipping on your entire order. You get 50% off the MyPillow 2.0. Also get 50% off the brand new flannel sheets that just arrived and won't last long. 6-pack towel sets for only $29.98. And take advantage of the free shipping on larger items such as mattresses and mattress toppers. 100% made in the USA, on sale for as low as $99.99. Everything is on sale, from the brand new kitchen towels that have the same technology as the bath towels that actually absorb dog beds, blankets, couch pillows, and so much more. To get the best specials ever, go to mypillow.com or call 800-516-5146. Use promo code TOM, and you can get free shipping on your entire order. So call 800-516-5146. Go to mypillow.com and use promo code TOM.
You're listening to the Tom Bernard Podcast.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Tom is not here. He said tough titty. He'll get back when he gets here, especially if it's just Bob that's going to be joining us. So, Bob.
Oh, my God. He's dealing with a tough titty.
Yes, his titty
Nothing
is tough.
like that.
How was your weekend?
It was all right. Wasn't too shabby. How about you kids?
Well, I've seen the light, and I think Tevin's seen the light, because now Vikings fans have a glimpse of the future ahead, led by as Phil Mackey coined it, the blonde Brady, JJ McCarthy. What'd you think of Vikings preseason win over the Raiders? What'd you think of JJ? What are your main takeaways, Bob?
Well, my first takeaway is that they now know that they have the luxury of not forcing him in to play sooner than he's ready, because that was a bad interception. However, he had a terrific third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's got, and also anyone worried, oh, KJ Osborne, who's going to be the third receiver? They got like 4 guys that could be the third receiver.
Yeah.
Jalen Naylor, if he stays healthy, he'll be the guy. Then they have Brandon Powell, who we didn't see much of at all. And then the other 2, Tristan Jackson and Trent Sherfield, those guys can play too. So
and they have
receiver.
Lucky Jackson. Is that another one too? Like they have, it seems like a plethora of just like guys who could probably be that bubble wide receiver 3 if Naylor's hurt.
Yes, they're going to be fine at receiver. Tight end, it's good they have receivers, because the tight end, I think, will be a turnstile of different guys playing depending on the situation.
Okay.
So
yeah.
They're going to be fine. Darnold is going to be good.
Yeah, and they're going to have to put up some points, because it looks like our defense might allow about 35 points a game.
Whoa. That's not good.
Did not
but he didn't really. I mean, it's tougher to judge the defense because they're not showing anything. What they did show is that Dallas Turner will be the rookie defensive player of the year. He is going to be phenomenal again if he stays healthy. And they're bringing in a guy who's a 2-time All-Pro today in his early 30s, Stephon Gilmore. You know, he'll likely sign with them later today. So that's an upgrade. He's older, he's not what he was, but he can help. He adds depth and veteran leadership to this team. So that's a plus.
I learned a lot by just coming in the room. That was wonderful.
And maybe a franchise kicker.
Yeah.
Will Reichard with a game winner to walk it off.
And I don't think that was his fault that he drilled it into the line, because the line wasn't doing its job.
Yeah.
So that it happens. But they were, ballyhooing the kid, how great he was. He just gets blocked. It'll happen. Yes, but he does seem like he's not bothered by pressure situations. You played Alabama. You've seen plenty of pressure just from having your coach, for Saban being there. So that's pressure enough, Nick Saban, to have to deal with that. But here's what I would think will happen. And Darnold will put up big numbers for this offense. But if they don't win games, there'll be a point maybe at the when they have the bye that they will say, we got to get a little more the life and juice. And if they feel that J.J. McCarthy is ready, that's when we'll see him. But I don't think it's going to be because Darnold fails. I think he's going to be fine.
How many games would that be in, Bob?
I got to take a look when the bye comes. Usually it comes like week 7 or so.
Games. Yeah, I believe it's like
there's 6 in this year.
Oh, so you think the guy is going to last 6 games, huh?
Oh, I think he's going to be fine. Tommy played for the 2 most dysfunctional NFL teams of the 21st century.
He played with the Vikings before?
Carolina. Yes, he's played with them a few times. They're the 3rd most dysfunctional.
Yeah, exactly.
Jets and Carolina too. Yeah. Okay. So, but I think it's going to be fun to watch the offense because, Jefferson didn't play the other night, obviously, nor did Aaron Jones. That offense will put up points. And it's not going to be because, Darnold, he's going to be absolutely fine. And he may be, I think J.J. McCarthy is close. He's not there yet. I think there are inconsistencies they've seen in camp. I mean, Chuck Foreman was there, and he said he's not ready to be an NFL quarterback yet. Will be, but isn't. So let him sit and learn. And if Darnold plays well and they win games, I mean, he may go the whole year as the quarterback. There's not a rush to get McCarthy in unless things completely bottom out on him.
Yeah.
Why rush him?
No, you're right. You're right. Well, it might be rushing him because that coach needs to win because he sucks so far.
I think he'll be fine, in terms of keeping his job, unless they go the old 2-6 or 2-15. Then I think they all have something to worry about. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Is he still rowing the boat, Bob? That's what I want to know.
No, that's the Gopher coach.
Oh, that's right. That's the Gopher coach. They all suck, actually.
I don't know.
Football coaches are terrible.
Somebody should ask O'Connell, do you row a boat too?
I should.
I hope not.
No. Yeah, that PJ, the Flexter. He's the rowing the boat guy. That boat's taking on water with those teams coming over from the Pac-12.
Oh my God, that looks very, very rough, Bob. Very rough.
Oh, it's going to be horrible, Tom.
Yep, it is. No question.
And they weren't exactly. I mean, three of the best teams in the country coming on over.
Wonderful.
With all that.
That is true.
Now, how about your Twins, huh? They didn't lose ground after Friday night. You thought, oh, wow, we're really going to make up some ground. Well, you didn't. But now, the big series again. They had a big series. Now they have Kansas City coming in. At least they have Lopez starting this one off. So they have a half-game lead on Kansas City. The big beneficiary of this series is actually now Cleveland, because one of those two teams should be knocked farther down.
Right. Yep.
To become less of a threat for Cleveland. So that's a good thing for your Guardians. Stupid name. Just should have just left it.
I mean, how is it an insult to call somebody an Indian?
That's what I'm wondering. Now, you got a point when you start talking Redskins.
Yeah, absolutely.
But not Braves and Indians and Chiefs. I mean, that's not denigrating them.
Well, how about the very offensive name of the very first professional football team in Minnesota?
Which was?
The Duluth Eskimos.
Those poor Eskimos, they were horrified.
Not a lot of Eskimos in Minnesota, but other than that.
No, but it was cold. And
what year was that, Bob? What year did
it
that?
It was around 1920 in that range.
1920.
And it didn't last long either. I actually have, I got to dig it out. I have my Eskimos baseball cap with their logo.
Really?
Yeah, all it is an it's an igloo. That was their logo.
Okay, well,
I'll wear it Friday. I'll dig it out.
I'd love to see it, Bob. There's no question.
Yeah. So
what else you got, Pally?
Well, I mean, I think football is now heating up. I think if you're a Vikings fan, I think you're probably a little excited. It is a preseason game, but you're excited to see what happens. I mean, if I'm a big time Vikings fan, I want Sam Darnold to be successful, because that means they're not rushing JJ McCarthy in there. And I think that is going to be key and critical. And the only unfortunate thing is they don't start the season with Hockenson healthy, because he is another dimension. So I think we'll see a lot more. Whoever the third receiver is, I think a lot more passes will go to him and Aaron Jones. Passes that might ordinarily go to TJ Hockenson, because they're not going to turn. Again, they're not going to have Johnny Munt will be in there. They got Josh Oliver will be in there. They'll have different players in there depending on the situation. And none of them are great pass receivers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, don't we have, was it N'Keal Harry? Isn't he a wide receiver turned tight end? Yeah, that is a potential.
Yes, and you know why he turned wide receiver to tight end?
Probably because he's slow and hands aren't as reliable.
Yes, because he can't play wide receiver.
Oh,
first round pick of the Patriots, and it gave him an excuse to hit the milkshakes because he got up to 240.
It sounds like Johnny Munt's been having a really good training camp, though. He might be like the leading pass catching tight end until Hockenson comes back.
Well, I would think it would be him or Oliver. And it's Robert Tonyan. Tonyan was great for 1 year with the Packers, but he's been hurt now. I think he's had back injuries or back issues. So he actually could have been a guy who'd been a receiving tight end for them.
Okay.
But again, he has to get healthy because, you don't. What was the line that Chuck Foreman has? You can't win in the tub or something about I think it rhymed. I don't remember exactly what the rhyme was. You can't make the club in the tub.
You can't make the club in the tub. I miss Chuck. We got to have lunch one day, man. I haven't seen Chuck in a couple of years now.
It's been years. Yeah, he is a great guy.
I love that guy. He's just a great guy. Nice man.
Yep. Talk to him every Thursday. Well, more than that, but every Thursday I do the Jim Bob Sports Jamboree with Vikings legend Chuck Foreman.
There you have.
And Mike Morris too is on that.
Oh, Mike's on there?
We have him on too. What's
he doing now? Where is he?
He's actually running his gym, which is very successful. I mean, he's got a lot of high school and college athletes coming through his gym.
And where is that?
I think he built an extra a triple wide, a big garage off his house, so he doesn't have to drive anywhere to do it.
So he has to go there. Okay.
Yeah, and he is. I mean, he can. You hear this a lot about guys who are old or getting older or in their 50s, and he might even be in his late 50s, early 60s. he is the one guy he could play in the NFL today because he was a long snapper, and he's still one of the best snappers out there. And you don't get beat up like when he played and they could just destroy the center. That wouldn't happen now. He could step on the field and snap for a team. No one's going to take the chance on a guy that age, but he's in incredible shape. He's in as good a shape as he was when he played.
I used to lift weights with him every week. That was back in the old day. Oh, the Lifetime over and right across the street from here.
Yeah, he could lift a weight or two.
Definitely. There's no question about it.
So
all right, Sammy, all right, another brilliant report, I think.
All right, I got to go dig out that Duluth Eskimos hat.
Yeah, you got to dig it out because I do want to see it this week.
We'll do that.
All right, Pally. Have a
good
day.
See you later. See you, boys.
Bob Sansevier Sports brought to you by Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury lawyer seeking justice for the injured. Contact Bradshaw and Bryant at MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. That's MinnesotaPersonalInjury.com. We'll take a break. Be right back. A little schmoozing coming up next. I'm here talking with my friends Michael Bilski and Brad Huckle of North American Banking Company. Guys, it seems like banking has changed quite a bit since you first opened your doors in 1998.
Yes and no. In 98, we didn't have online and mobile banking like we do today. Many banking processes have also changed. One thing that hasn't changed is we still provide a true community bank experience right here in the Twin Cities.
Our team takes the time to get to know our customers and their goals. This creates a relationship that is unique in banking today and one our customers appreciate. It's why we like to say we provide a better banking experience.
You're absolutely right, Brad. I've been a customer for a long time. The service your team provides is phenomenal.
Thanks, Tommy.
So why not bank with my banker, North American Banking Company, a better banking experience, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The past several years have been the craziest in the history of the car business. The pandemic, supply chain and chip issues, all causing extreme inventory shortages that led to, well, predatory pricing. Some dealers charge thousands of dollars over MSRP.
We never played that game. I'm Jim Paul of Valley Buick GMC. We knew that would leave a bad taste in a customer's mouth. More importantly, from an integrity standpoint, it was just wrong.
So what about the current market? You know, inventory and pricing.
Valley has their best inventory in years. Really all the Buick and GMC models. Even the previously hard-to-find Yukons, HD pickups, and Hummer EVs. Plenty of deep discounts. Many with factory rebates and low-interest financing.
Then it's a good time to buy?
It's a great time. We're welcoming our previous customers back, as well as anyone else that felt the treatment just didn't feel right the last time somewhere else.
Valley Buick GMC in Apple Valley and Hastings or valleycardealers.com. Car buying without the bad aftertaste.
When you go to a restaurant, you expect the chef to be an expert. You expect your auto mechanic to be an expert when it comes to fixing your car. You judge them both by the results of their work. Josh Arnold is an expert in investments and planning your financial future. Josh Arnold is my expert, and he should be yours too. I talk to Josh every week, and he understands the market and the economy, and he knows how to plan for your retirement. Don't put it off another day. The man with your plan is Josh Arnold. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll have an expert planning and managing your financial future. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC Security Investment Advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice. Tom Bernard is a paid endorser.
This is the Tom Bernard Podcast. Listen live weekday mornings, 8 to 9:30, or anytime you like as a podcast on the Tom Bernard app at TomBernardShow.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
I got to run some by the two of you and all our listeners as well. What the hell is going on the roads in the state of Minnesota? The two top stories, once again, in the Star Tribune this morning: Minneapolis police driver hit scooter rider, took SUV's plate, and left victim with fatal injuries. And the story right next to that one, one dead in crash on Highway 61 in St. Paul. The single vehicle crash led authorities to close Highway 61 during the early part of Monday's morning commute. What the hell is going on in our highways? There are people being killed on our highways every day this year.
Yeah, this year, I think more so than in the past, it seems like there have been quite a few fatal accidents and major issues where streets have to get shut down and things like that. And even, I mean, just downtown because, you mentioned one of them was a scooter incident.
Yeah.
People on scooters are out of control.
Oh, you are correct about that. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I saw 3 guys, and they probably looked to be all about maybe 16 years old, out on Bushway. And they're driving their electric scooters on the road. They looked, maybe it's because it's a scooter, they looked like they're going faster than they are, but they were doing at least 35.
Oh, yeah.
What do those things top out at?
I'm not sure what, let's search here real quick, but they're either way, it feels like they're, like you said, if you're standing still and somebody goes by you, it feels like, they're going 30 miles an hour down the sidewalk. And
yes. There
are portions, and a lot of people that will use either like the bike lanes, or there's like off sidewalk riding areas. So that's not bad, but there are definitely a lot of people as well that will be right on the sidewalk up against the buildings where people are trying to exit businesses and restaurants, and people get hit all the time.
Yeah, these 3 guys were in the street, and what, you guys have any idea how fast they can go?
I'll look it up. Are they called like the Lime?
Yeah, the Lime scooters. It looks like 15 miles an hour.
Oh no, these were faster than that.
Some of them couldn't go as fast as 20 on a single charge, it says.
Yeah, I think, well, these were not the Lime scooters though. These were personally owned ones.
Oh, okay.
They had to be doing at least 30 and maybe more than that. And the reason that I'm even bringing this up, there were 3 young guys. They looked to be about 16 years old. And one of them driving on a highway. Well, Bushway's it's pretty much a highway during part of the day anyway.
Yeah.
They're on the highway, and one guy's got his right hand on the handlebars, and he's got his left hand holding his phone, and he's looking at his phone while driving a scooter at about 35 miles an hour, I would say. Kid, you want to die? I mean, seriously, what are you thinking?
Yep.
He's not even looking at the road at all.
No, or you'll see people, whether it be like 2-3 people on one scooter.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to get to wherever they're going. Or if it's a certain time of night and the weekends, you'll get drunk people running into each other on scooters. And yeah, it's a mess.
I just don't understand why you would ever want to look at your phone while you're driving a scooter with one hand.
Yeah, I don't know. I know Declan, who you both know. He's a big scooter guy. He'll go from a couple blocks over and use those to go to like the Twins games and stuff like that. That hop on that to get back to like where he parked his car. I'm not great on the scooter. I'm not. I feel like I'd rather just walk.
Yeah,
personally, but I don't know. And I was looking kind of. We see these like the happiest states, or what states have the most like, gives out the best Halloween candy and stuff like that. I was trying to find one that's like, what states have the best and worst drivers? Minnesota, according to one from 2022, is in every like key stat in the bottom half of the United States.
Oh yeah, the drivers here
is not amazing. A shock.
No,
it's not a shock at all. And I'll tell you the one thing, when you're gone for a couple of months from Minnesota and you come back.
Yeah.
Happened again this morning on the way in on 394. There was a person, won't say if it was a man or a woman, not necessary, weaving back and forth from the left lane to the right lane, to the left lane to the right lane, doing about 30. What are you doing? I mean, doing 30 miles an hour on a freeway, because 394 is a freeway, and you're wandering from lane to lane at about 30. Maybe she was doing 35, maybe even 40, but it was definitely no more than 40. And I just said she, so I tipped off everybody who was driving. Didn't mean to do that, lady, but you're a horseshit driver and you're going to kill somebody, probably yourself, if you don't stop doing that. I mean, you got people now in Florida, they do the other thing. If you're on a freeway in Florida and you're not doing 80, you better get the hell out of the way, because you are going way too slow.
Yeah. When I lived in Arizona briefly, there were like down like like residential city streets, people are still doing like 55, 60 miles an hour type of thing. And I just like the first day driving was like, what is it? I didn't know I was on the Autobahn down here.
So it's the Autobahn.
Bon. It's the Autobahn. That was a big hit,
The Autobahn, or that song?
That song. Bon. It's the Autobahn. Oh, you got to look at it. We got to play the Autobahn song. You guys have never heard that?
I think I have.
Is that like, it sounds like, isn't that like the rhythm to a Beach Boys song?
Yeah, kind of, in a way.
What's
except
it called?
for this is, I think it's just called the Autobahn, isn't it? I think.
Okay.
And I think it's a German band, if I remember correctly. Maybe. Isn't the Autobahn, you can drive literally as fast as you want on the Autobahn?
Yeah, it doesn't have a speed limit. It has like a speed minimum where if you're not going at least like 80, it's not the road for you.
Get the hell off. I was trying to think of who did the song Autobahn.
Is it Kraftwerk?
Kraftwerk. It's Kraftwerk. You're absolutely right.
It's like I said it wrong.
No, they did pronounce it Kraftwerk.
I think I might have it here.
Here we go.
Have it.
Brilliant song.
It's 22 minutes long.
Is it? I got one that's three minutes.
Good. Perfect.
Must have been
instrumental.
Big in Germany.
It was big in Germany. Yes, it was. Come on, start. Bon, bon, bon. It's the Autobahn.
Okay.
That's the entire lyrics, by the way.
Oh, that's it?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Bon, bon, bon. It's the Autobahn.
Yeah, they don't make music like they used to.
No.
They really
Yeah,
don't.
they do not.
Huge lyricism right there.
They don't make lyrics like they used to. In other words, not at all.
Wait, Devin, they made a remastered version in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
It's 22 minutes and 48 seconds
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Yeah.
I don't
22
know.
minutes long. Bon, bon, bon. It's the Autobahn.
I don't know if that was needed. Kraftwerk.
Well, that would be shoulder to shoulder with Inagata da Vida, baby. Because that was 22 minutes long too, wasn't it? You guys remember that song?
Yeah, that's. I think that was only 21.
Oh, it's only 21. Excuse me. I was way off. It was only 21. But that got its name by a guy. They were trying to think of a name for the song that's 21 or 22 minutes long. And they couldn't come up with a name. And the guy sitting at his desk said, it could be like In the Garden of Eden. But he was so excited, he ran into the room and said, I've got a name for the song. Inagata da Vida. He literally mispronounced the words. As they said, you know what? We'll use that.
We'll use that instead.
So they did use Inagata da Vida instead of In the Garden of Eden. And it's 21 or 22 minutes long. No question. And then somebody did an album, and I can't remember who it was, because back in those days it was vinyl. And each side was about 21 to 25 minutes long. They did one song that you had to flip over the record to play the last half of the song.
And Inagata da Vida is a 17-minute song.
Oh, it's only 17 minutes.
By Iron Butterfly.
Iron Butterfly. That's exactly right. Get it? It can fly, but it's made of iron. So I'm both. I'm both very crafty and I'm very strong,
but also delicate.
But also delicate.
It's like the Iron Lotus.
The Iron Lotus. There you go.
Yeah, it's forbidden figure skating move.
Yeah. Oh, is it the Iron Lotus?
It's from a movie.
Was it Blades of Glory? Yeah.
I have no idea what the hell you guys
It's
are talking about.
Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Oh, one thing I do want to mention, because I don't know what happened a couple of years ago, Catherine and I jumped on a recent episode of, now I forgot the name of the damn show. Oh, Christ. Why did I bring it up? Because I don't remember the name of the show now, but we started from episode 1 because Kristen Burt said, you got to start from 1. Otherwise it makes no sense. It's a really, really good show. And I just wish I could remember the name of the damn thing.
What's it about?
It's about 2 guys that live together. One's a big, heavy guy. Was it Will Forte? I can't remember his real name.
Okay.
I'll look it up. Here's what we'll do. We'll go to break right now. I'll look it up and find out what it is. And then when although Kristen will probably know what it is anyway when she comes on. But the show is damn good if you start from the beginning. But if you start in the middle, it's like, well, this makes no sense. This sucks. But so you kind of have to watch it coming in, I guess.
Yeah.
Different character development.
Yeah.
They're all booze hounds or drug addicts, every one of them.
All right.
And it's about recovery from being a drunk or a drug addict. And it's funny as hell. They do a really good job with it.
All right.
But we shall take a break, and Kristen Burt will straighten me out right after this.
I've been tracking the weather in Minnesota for a long time. I'm 5 Eyewitness News Chief Meteorologist Ken Barlow. In the morning, I've got to be right, because my forecast affects your family's entire day. And in the evening, you can count on my friend, Ren.
That's right, Ken. I'm 5 Eyewitness News evening meteorologist Ren Claire. And as a Minnesotan, I know our weather can be tricky. Throughout the day and into the night, I've got you covered with an accurate forecast to help keep your family safe and ready for any weather.
And don't forget, no matter how things change or what time of day, you'll always get our forecast first at the start of every newscast on 5 Eyewitness News. Start your day with me, Ken Barlow.
And wrap up your day with me, Ren Claire.
Because 5 Eyewitness News is always tracking our weather, so you're always alerted first. It's why 5 Eyewitness News is Minnesota's weather authority.
When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
If you've never been in an auto accident, it's hard to know what to expect from the insurance adjuster. Here are some tips. 1, if they talk to you about whether or not you should hire a lawyer, it's a good sign that you probably should. 2, it's illegal for them to give you any legal advice. They aren't lawyers and they aren't licensed to practice law. 3, if they tell you that everyone involved in the accident is at fault, they're wrong. This comes from the belief that you're at fault for just being on the road. That's nonsense and not supported by any law. Finally, remember that friendly adjusters are often just gaining information. They want you to do most of the talking so they can file their report. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. I hope you're never injured in a collision. But if you are, don't sign anything until you've talked to us.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
I hosted my show on the radio for 40 years. Now I host the Tom Bernard podcast. And I'll tell you, I've never seen the passion and engagement from our audience as I do now. I know we also have businesses that listen to our podcast, and it got me thinking, wouldn't it be great to help those businesses grow by telling my listeners about them? So here's the deal. If you own or handle marketing for a business, would like to have my audience buy your product or service, visit TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and we'll put together an ad campaign to help your business. That's TomBernardShow.com, keyword partner, and thank you for listening.
This is the Tom Bernard Podcast.
There she is, Kristen Burt, ladies and gentlemen. Kristen, how are you doing? I thought about you this weekend because of the drama at the Olympics for gymnastics with, was it Jordan getting her bronze taken away, and then the highlights, or I guess lowlights, that we saw of breaking. So would you like to comment on?
Yes. In fact, my weekend, I wound up working all weekend, to be honest. I got a call from Paris, believe it or not. My editor, who I work with at Inside Dance from time to time, also runs Inside Gymnastics. And he's like, hi. He's like, as they were ruling in the court of arbitration about Jordan Child's bronze medal, he's like, I need you to write up about this. Are you by a laptop? He's like, I'm at the men's breaking event. The rest of the staff were on planes back to the United States. He's like, can you write this up? So I was like, sure, no problem. So I spent the whole weekend at my laptop really dealing with all of this unfolding. And I will tell you, if anyone didn't follow this whole saga over the weekend, Jordan Childs won the bronze medal, but she won it on an inquiry because the judges had allegedly, well, actually, they said that they hadn't credited her one of her difficulty levels. So it took her from 5th place to 3rd place. That bumped 2 Romanians down into 4th and 5th place. So, of course, there was a lot of drama between the Romanians and the Americans, particularly with Nadia Comaneci. And probably everyone remembers her from the 1976 Olympics. She was the first athlete to have a perfect 10. She started squawking about it. And then she got the Romanian president involved. And he was saying, I'm not coming to closing ceremony unless we look into this. So that's where the court of arbitration got involved. And they ruled in favor of the Romanians, and they took the woman who had been 3rd, Ana Barbosu, and gave her the bronze medal and said, Jordan needs to give back hers. When it was clearly a judge's fault, it had nothing to do with the athlete's performance, because they were saying that the inquiry was handed in 4 seconds too late, but then nobody can come up with the actual timestamp. But the Americans have the timestamp, and they are now going into an appeals. And listen, honestly, I don't think Jordan will hand back her medal. I think in the end, it's going to wind up with 2 bronze medals. I think this is how this will all play out eventually. But I will tell you that the amount of discourse and the way it ended for these 2 women, it really kind of spoils their Olympics experience.
You know, as a father, I'd say win the gold or don't come home.
Oh, we were so happy for Jordan. This was her first individual medal. No, and it really speaks to the Federation for International Gymnastics has always been fraught with a lot of controversy in how they judge. And remember, it's a subjective sport, and Cold War politics still play into this. And the Americans are now dominating. And I will tell you that, unfortunately, racist remarks were lodged at Jordan Chiles in all of this. It was disgusting. Yeah. Like, not even like a microaggression. We're talking like a full-blown, disgusting racist campaign against her.
So they call
by the Romanian fans.
They call her a honky? Is that what it was?
She's a black gymnast. So
okay, never
use
mind.
Your imagination.
Ixnay on the Akblay.
Yeah, it was terrible. So we will see how this plays out, but that's my prediction of how that will play out. And then, of course, you have breaking, which was a hot mess thanks to one Australian B-girl who isn't really a B-girl. She's like a cultural professor.
She's the doctor of dance.
Doctor of dance. That should have been her handle instead of Ray Gun, right?
Yeah. Why isn't her name like Raina something? Or how'd she come up with Ray Gun?
I don't know how she got her Ray Gun name, but I will tell you, people in the breaking world, because remember, this particular style of dance is rooted in Black culture. And then you have this white woman who's like, I'm just going to get myself to the Olympics and then write a book off of this. In my experience, not landing too well. And, while people are amused by it, like on the surface, like on social media going, I could have done this, like just writhing on my floor and gotten to the Olympics. Culturally and respect for the art, it's really landing with the thud. And now I got a press release this morning that like one of the sports betting sites, they're saying that she's like the top pick for Dancing with the Stars. And I'm like, of course she is. And of course, Dancing with the Stars will probably pick her because they like the controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Such a mess.
Tevin and I were talking during the break here. Did I read it correctly that has their committee already like omitted breaking from the 2028 Olympic Games? So the next opportunity is in Australia 4 years after that. But now they're kind of up in the air because for the past like week, they've just had an onslaught of people making fun of them for her performance.
Yeah. So what happens is every city is allowed to pick like 4 sports that haven't been in the Olympics to be in the Olympics to represent their city. So breaking was one of the selections for France for this particular round. Then that rolls into Los Angeles. Do you want to keep it as a sport or do you want to pick something else? Like we're doing squash, like squash is coming. I don't know how exciting squash is going to be, to be honest, but there are some other things. There's a football event that's not like a full football, like NFL style. I think it's like a 4-on-4 or something like that. But we're doing football in LA. So, it's up to the city, to the host city, to make those decisions, and breaking is out. So at best, it might be 8, 12, 16 years. And it's a disappointment because if you watch the men's competition, it was unbelievable. On Saturday, I think they did it.
Yeah.
And do you want more controversy?
Absolutely.
Because I actually think this was kind of interesting. I just did an article this morning on it. So we all watched Tom Cruise last night, right? Rappel into the stadium and like Mr. Superstar, like tousles his hair. All the fans were taking photos with him. A lot of people on social media were complaining. They're like, why is LA promoting the guy that's tied to Church of Scientology? In France, Scientology is considered legally a cult. And yes, however, the interesting thing is the Church of Scientology built their headquarters near the stadium where Tom Cruise was rappelling in at the closing ceremony. They opened it in April. Now, of course, in March, he had come forward to the Los Angeles 2028 committee. He's like, I've got this great idea for the closing ceremony. He's the one that came up with the idea of like, I'll take the flag, we'll take it to Los Angeles, I'll rappel, I'll do a stunt. But now I'm thinking, was it the Church of Scientology that came up with this idea? Because I guess they were all around the stadium all week long, handing out pamphlets, recruiting people to take an e-meter test. Kind of shady, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And using Tom Cruise on a global stage for it.
I don't understand what is. I don't know anything about Scientology or any of the rest of it. So what are their beliefs? What are they? Do they have some unusual, harmful beliefs or something?
They believe in aliens and thetans and superpowers to help get you to each level, which helps you go clear.
How much does it cost you?
I will tell you, I know that I'm just going to go from Leah Remini's, she didn't reach the top level, but she gave them over $2.5 million.
So this is all about money.
Yes. And that's why France calls it a cult, because they said it is for commercial gain. And can you imagine, because Tom Cruise is considered the number 2 in the Church of Scientology, how much money he has given them? And if anyone hasn't seen Alex Gibney's documentary on it, Going Clear, I highly recommend it. It goes really deep into the religion and how it became viewed as a cult. It's unbelievable. It was so well done, and you can see it on HBO.
Now we're having Giovanni Ribisi on the show, and he's a big Scientologist too, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So do we have to talk about that when he's on? I hope not.
Most celebrities prefer not to talk about it because it is too controversial and it really hurts their career in Hollywood at this point.
Yeah, well, let me say this though. If it's their money, I guess they can spend it however they want, can't they? I mean,
absolutely. And for those who have left, there's plenty of celebrities who have left. Leah Remini talks about having to undo all of it warps your mind because you're in a cult and you're taught these certain beliefs. And she said, I've spent years of therapy trying to get out, and she only got out in 2013. She's like, I don't think I'll ever be able to unravel it fully because she was brought into the church by her parents when she was a kid.
Well, you heard my story about how I got nothing but trouble when I was like 8 years old because I grew up Catholic. Mm-hmm. And you go to confession first, and then you go to the first Holy Communion, right? And the priest came in and said, have I ever told you this story before? I know these guys I've told it before, but I don't think I've ever told you.
No. Keep going.
So the priest comes in and he did blah, blah, blah. And he says, you have to understand one thing about confession, though. When you come into the confessional, children, you think you're talking to me, but you're not. You're actually talking directly to God. And I said in full voice, no, you're not. Oh, my God, did I get in trouble? Now, if an 8-year-old can figure that out, why do these people believe this BS?
I don't know, but I think a lot of people, when they get in, they're lost. They're searching for something. Some people I think have gone in when they're suffering from addiction, and the church will use their methods. I know some people sometimes questioning sexuality because there are people who are possibly closeted, possibly allegedly, who are celebrities, and that could be a reason to go and seek religion.
Yeah, I mean, I understand if people are looking for, a greater good or something like that, they're seeking out. I just don't think you should join an expensive religion. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, absolutely. But I mean, most churches are asking you to tithe 10% of your income.
Oh, yeah. That never happened in my family because we had no income. So I didn't have to worry about it. All worked out in the end. Yeah, I don't know why people always have to. Isn't it enough to just believe in a greater good? How about that?
Yeah. I think you could do that, but I think some people really enjoy the community of church though too. So I think that's important for some people as well.
Not unless it costs like $100,000 to get in, then I don't want to go. Right?
Yeah. You don't want that a membership fee.
Yeah. The membership fee to get in.
Country club membership fee.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate that people go through that whole mess because everybody's got troubles in their lives, obviously. Mm-hmm. And to take advantage of that kind of pisses me off.
Yeah.
What's Tom Cruise's problem?
Possibly dealing with the sexuality, possibly allegedly.
That's what I understand. I mean, I don't know about that.
We don't.
But
we will never know, honestly. I mean, we're only going to hear stories and, third-hand gossip and things like that because we will never know the true Tom Cruise. And that is that's I just don't really understand this whole sexuality and skin color thing. And I've, of course, been accused of being horrible in that whole area. I have never cared about anyone's sexuality or their skin color. Why would I care? Right? I mean, who cares? But it's still a big deal in 2024. I don't know why it is, but it is. Well, ask Jordan Childs, who just suffered from, hateful statements. It was disgusting. And they were sending them to her family, her mom and her sister through DMs on social media. And they were posting them. And you're like, oh my gosh, like, how are we in 2024? But listen, we ride at dawn for Jordan Childs. So
there you go.
I saw somebody say, like, now we're going to show everybody, like the world, what else we are gold medalists in: litigation.
Mm-hmm. Litigation. You want us to talk to the manager? No one can out Karen people than white women in America. Come on.
She's keeping that medal. It might even get up to a silver. We don't know.
Well, there's a joke that, like, there's a Google Doc going around Los Angeles as a joke that we're all going to fill in times to babysit her bronze medal while she's like out because she's going back to UCLA for NCAA gymnastics. That we'll watch it for her so they can't come and take it. I mean, I love it. I honestly, I don't think that there's there's no other conclusion than just giving one to Ana Barbosu and one to Jordan, or let Jordan keep hers and call it a day, and then have major reforms in gymnastics, because this is not working and this is not the only time it's happened. So
it seems like it happens every 4 years, doesn't it? Somebody screws up something.
Yeah, I mean, I think all the sports that are judged always have an issue. We've seen it in figure skating before, diving's had issues. And I think that when you're looking at gymnastics, it actually happens at world championships quite a bit too. We had the Americans had an issue the last in 2023. And I just think it's one of those things that people don't like, that the Americans have dominated in gymnastics for the last probably 4 or 5 quads, and it's frustrating. And the Romanians are making a comeback, and they felt like this bronze medal was rightfully theirs.
I suppose now I do, before you have to get going here, I have to give you the big round of applause, because Loudermilk, I jumped in the middle of it and didn't care for it. But so Catherine and I started over from episode 1 of season 1. Mm-hmm. That's a damn good show.
Makes a lot more sense, right?
Yeah, because it didn't make any sense to me. Jumping in the middle is like, what is this all about? That's a damn good show. It's done very, very well. The acting is really good in it. The roommates couldn't be any better.
Can I ask a question to you? Do you typically just like jump in the middle of a show that you haven't seen?
Yeah, I mean, in the 3rd year, I just jump in and go, let's see if this is any good.
Interesting. Okay, because I would lose my mind not knowing any characters' backstories.
Yeah,
like that to me is like sacrilegious. Like
sacrilegious.
It is. In the era of golden television, you have to start from the beginning and binge watch it. But I do think, if this had been the 70s or 80s, you could just pick it up wherever and it's fine, because they were just basically episodes that stood alone. Now that doesn't happen. There are threads through every single season. Otherwise, you're very confused.
Well, like I said, some people are stupid and can't hang in there, but
we're not saying who, right?
Nobody's pointing fingers here.
Nobody's pointing any fingers up for sacrilegious fingers. But other than that, But no, it's a very, very well acted show. It's really good. It's very poignant. It makes some very good points about drug addiction and alcoholism, which I think is very cool. The people, and I'll stop with this, the people in his group that, they meet every week or whatever it is, there's some interesting folks in there. There's no question about it. There was one point, and I can't remember exactly how the line was delivered, but there's a man who was born without arms. He's just got a very short, I guess like a short
limb.
A short limb. He's got, regular size hands, but he has no arms. And it's real. It's not made up for the show or whatever. And a guy makes a comment about, why don't we all just join together? Just, you know what? Instead of, you guys are always doing this. You're talking with your hands. So I think we should all put our hands in our pockets. Well, not you, Bill. Like, oh my God. It's a very, very good show, though. You were right in the beginning, and I should not have jumped in the middle, because I didn't understand some things, like that makes no sense. So there you go. But I just want to tell you that is a really good show.
good. And I'm going to recommend you start all shows I recommend from season 1.
You might have to start from season 1 now.
I'm going to just, that's my tip of the day.
But I will tell you, television, and the one I can see why movies are having a problem, because television shows are much better than movies right now, don't you think?
Although I think movies are starting to get a little bit of a groove. We've seen, Deadpool and Wolverine, and over the weekend you saw Blake Lively's movie It Ends With Us gain a little traction. And I think tomorrow we should talk about that controversy, because that is juicy. Ryan Reynolds, Justin Baldoni, and Blake Lively in a feud that is spilling over to social media.
Really?
Oh, and you know what? It's really, I think we should talk about it, because it's a lengthier discussion, but it really talks a lot about Ryan Reynolds and his grip on Hollywood right now.
He does have a grip on Hollywood, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that movie is horrendous, though. What was the first one you mentioned?
Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah, Deadpool. I heard it's terrible.
I think audiences are enjoying it. I think that's like kind of a fun summer popcorn movie.
Has it really done? Somebody told me it's done nearly $1 billion.
Billion, yeah.
Well, it can't be too bad if it's done $1 billion.
No, I think Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds together are a draw for the box office. I mean, who doesn't want to see the two of them together? I think they're funny, and their friendship carries over beyond the screen. So I think it works.
Yeah, it's up to over $1 billion now.
It's over $1 billion.
The budget was $200 million.
Did you guys see it?
Not yet.
No, and I probably won't see it.
Yeah, It's not my kind of deal either.
Not my jam.
Not my jam. All right, young lady, we will talk to you tomorrow. But yeah, good recommendation to start over at Loudermilk. It's really good from the beginning.
That's going to be a key, like start over from the beginning from here on out.
For all my life.
Season 1, episode 1, that's where you begin.
How about this? Where should I start watching Gunsmoke?
Season 1, episode 1.
About 5,000 episodes. That'd be really great.
You will never run out of episodes. That's
you'd never run out of episodes. All right, we will talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, more controversy tomorrow. Let's dive into it.
Okay, sounds good. Kristen Bird Entertainment News brought to you by North American Banking Company. Go to nabankco.com to learn more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. And now that she's off the screen, I will tell you, she's very good at pointing out shows that are good, shows that are mediocre, shows that are not good at all. Mm-hmm. She's very good at that.
And especially good at pinpointing specifically, like, AJ, I think you'll like this one, as opposed to Tom, I think you'd rather watch this one over here. And so she's good at that. She's good at what she does.
She's very receptive to other people's interests. Mm-hmm. And she I bet you if she got you a present, or like at Christmas time or something like that, every gift is like a 10 out of 10. Like she just gets other people's interests.
She does.
Yeah.
It's so weird though that I never met her when she lived here. I've never met her in person. It's just she lived here. I never met her the whole time. And then all of a sudden she was just on the show, and I still haven't met her in person.
We're going to have to set something up.
One of these days, man. One of these days, Alice. That's all I have to say. All right, that's going to do it for this show. The Family Show up in about 10 minutes.